Hello, everybody in the Better Pickleball community. Welcome. I hope you're having a great day, even though you might not be on the pickleball courts. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is CJ Johnson, and I'm the founder of Better Pickleball, where, I'm dedicated to helping people who are over the age of 50 live their best life on and off the courts. But as you can see, I'm not alone. I have a couple people joining me today because obviously you have heard about the virtual summit that's coming up, and it's coming up in just a couple of days. And these two people are going to be speakers at that virtual summit. So I'd like to say hello to Nicole Havlicek and Drew Evans. And
hi. Hello.
How are both of you?
Doing well.
Doing well over here in self-isolation.
Everybody's in isolation. Now I'm going to tell everyone here, this is the first time we've done this using this particular software. So why doesn't everybody say hello and say hello in the chat and tell us where you're watching from today? I see Danville, California, Birmingham, Alabama. Oh, Stan was here earlier today. Stan is actually, are either of you going to the Indoor Pickleball Championship in Alabama coming up? I think Stan told me June. Are either of you headed towards that?
I don't have plans to attend that as of right now. We'll see.
It's on our calendar. It's a possibility because we were there when they did the Heritage Pickleball tournament. It was an amazing place, very nice facility.
Great. And Barrett Kenchelo, he is in the chat as well. Hello, Barrett. Actually, right. Barrett is going to be on tomorrow, doing this live at 2:00 tomorrow. And wow, now it's coming in. We're all over the place. And Stan said June 9th through the 13th. So we're giving Stan a little bit of a plug there. Arizona, California, Palm Beach Gardens, Augustine, Florida. Wow, we got people just coming in from all over the place. So I tell you what, we're going to give you today what we're going to do. We're going to do three things. I am going to let these fine people introduce themselves and tell you who they are. We're going to give you some updates about the summit that is coming up, which is going to be this Monday, the 23rd through the 25th. And then guess what? Afterwards, we are going to answer your pickleball questions. But I do have to tell you this, if you're asking a question, and please, you can kind of ask them at any point in time. I'm the one who's moderating the chat as well as running the text. So if you wouldn't mind, put the word question in front of your question if you actually have a question, and I'll get these two fine people to help me to answer questions at the end of this. But first, I'd like you to meet these people. So since it's ladies first, and Nicole, you didn't get the memo, it was a pink day.
Oh, where was that memo?
I gotta tell you, we've had tons of emails flying around. It's been kind of crazy. But Nicole Havlicek is joining us. She is one of the co-founders from Better Pickleball. So Nicole, if you would please tell us about yourself and tell us about, I said Better Pickleball. I meant to say Primetime Pickleball. My channel's Better Pickleball. Hers is different. But please tell us about yourself as well as Primetime Pickleball.
Sure, yeah. So as CJ said, I'm one of the co-founders of Primetime Pickleball alongside with Jordan Briones. And first and foremost, I wanted to thank CJ for inviting me on this live today, as well as to be part of the virtual summit, which is happening Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. I'm very excited about that. And to bring my segment, we all have some exciting stuff to share with you guys. So a little bit about me. I'm originally a tennis player. I'm from Toronto, Canada, which is actually where I'm at right now. I may or may not get stuck on this side of the border for some time, but I'm at my parents' house, so I'm comfortable and happy. Yeah, I discovered pickleball mid-2017, right around the time actually I met Jordan. He came out to our club to do at the Oakland Hills Tennis Club in Oakland, California, to help us with a pickleball clinic, like really just an intro class, and it was free and open, and we had a huge amount of attendance. And he, noticed that I could hit a ball, but it was mostly all my tennis training coming through, and he invited me over to play at his courts. the courts he played at in Concord. And, you know, I just started going every Friday and I fell in love with it. It was just so much fun. I do have also, so in addition to being able to transfer over my tennis skills, I played for UC Berkeley on the team. So I was able to transfer those over, and it picked up pretty quick and, you know, became relatively high level. And in you know, a few months, it's definitely a transition, but once you get used to it, there's so many applicable skills, but certainly it's an animal in and of itself. So, you know, we were set to play a tournament together, actually nationals 2017, Jordan and I was going to play doubles with his wife, Katrina. I kind of went down with an injury and unfortunately, haven't really been able to play since then, but that's been a long time, but I still love it. I follow it, and I kind of saw a need, and he and I both did. I'm a bit of an online media nerd, if you will. I've been studying it for some time, and between like my technical background with tennis that translates very well to pickleball, he's obviously a fantastic player, as shines through well through the videos, and my you know, strong background of being able to edit and thumbnails and just promote it on YouTube. We were kind of like a perfect team, strong woman, strong man. I love how Drew's changing out his hats here in the background. Yeah, and so we just kind of saw a need. Like, there were some great channels out there already, including CJ's Better Pickleball, as well as Pickleball Channel, I believe, was already out there, as well as Deb Harrison's channel, Third Shot Sports. Those were kind of the four main places to get pickleball information. And we thought everyone was doing a great job, but we certainly felt that we could add to that and bring even like more videos and more knowledge. Like I said, I have a pretty deep technical understanding of technique and strategy, and that translated pretty nicely to pickleball, just with a few tweaks. Jordan's obviously, because he's such a great player, you know, he's finished 4th in singles in 2 huge events, US Open and Nationals not too long ago. So it just kind of worked out really well, and he loves the online stuff too. So we were able to get on YouTube and gain traction pretty quickly. So that's been very, very exciting for us. And we're just so happy to share everything that we know, and people seem to love it. So we're going to keep doing that. And we're also happy to contribute any way we can right now and with what's going on in the world right now. So that's why I'm here. And, you know, unfortunately, Jordan, he works for UPS, so he has like an essential needs job. So he's still out there on the road getting things out to people, you know, probably delivering toilet paper and whatnot. So actually, he doesn't do the delivery side. He does stuff behind the scenes, but still, his work helps get things shipped to people's doors while they're stuck at home. So yeah, I think that's what I got about me for today. Did I miss anything? Anything else you wanted me to share, CJ, or you want to move on to Drew?
So you know what, we are going to first of all, I have to say hats off to Nicole, because I don't know that she saw this, but not only is Drew changing hats down there, which she's going to tell you what that's all about, my cat Shirley decided this was a really good time to come up and see what I was doing, and she's been walking around the desk in the background, but I guess that's why we call it live. So Nicole, hang on just a second. She is going to tell you, she's going to give you a little sneak peek into what she is talking about this week. But before she does that, the man he's changing hats down on the bottom, some of you may or may not know Drew Evans, but he is the pickleball librarian. So Drew, why don't you introduce yourself to the Better Pickleball audience? Tell us who you are and what you're doing inside of pickleball.
Thank you, CJ, for inviting me to be part of the summit. This is just amazing. And hey, folks, I mean, just to let you know, yes, I am the pickleball librarian. We have a team going. I'm a founder. And folks always ask me, you know, was I a librarian? Yes, I was. I was a librarian for Kansas State University in Washburn Law. And basically, I used to do reviews for the Kansas Library Association and also the American Association of Law Libraries. And I published reviews, you know, actually since the 80s. And it's a long thing. And once I got into pickleball, I read this book. This is a very nice book. And there's a lot of great books out there. And Prem Carnot's book, I looked at the reviews for it, and they were kind of short. And I was like, well, I've written very nice reviews before, and I went ahead and did that. And pretty much that's how it started. But I just want to tell you about the Pickleball Librarian team. I mean, we provide videos on pickleball books, videos, equipment, and training resources. We do our best to connect people in pickleball communities and share their inspiring stories. We also break stereotypes and other barriers. We just provide access. And and by the way, I mean, we have reviewed Primetime Pickleball in the past, and we definitely love that channel. So let me tell you, we have partnerships with many brands, and however, we don't work for the brands. You are our boss. We work for you, the pickleball consumer. Our job is to provide unbiased reviews. We do our best to give pickleball brands equal access, equal exposure. Oh, time for this again. So we want to make sure all brands get equal time, whatever we're doing. Anyway, we work for you. We also decide among ourselves who is Pickleball Librarian approved. And just to tell you more about our team of players are from different walks of life. I mean, we have 5-0 and 4-5 players and even intermediate players. Our editorial librarian is also a product manager. She has extensive experience in product development and bringing products to the marketplace. I mean, Colleen Mendoza, you don't see her on the camera that much. She's a lot behind the camera, but without her, we really can't function as well. I mean, she to us is almost like Nicole with Primetime Pickleball. And then we also have Shelley Wilson, the queen of commentating. We have training librarians, Kirk Devine and Ben Howe. I have my trusty assistant, Walter, who's actually in the background here. And then we also have Brent Levinston, who is affiliated with the CIA. So lots of cool stuff. And anyway, we have a passion for educating people, and we also have a passion for consumer advocacy.
Awesome. Okay. That is now like real CIA.
Oh, I tell you. Okay. So CIA stands for Culinary Institute of America. He's our nutrition expert. So I mean, we get a lot of good health information from him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, cool. Well, now you know a little bit about who both of our guests are today. I am going to put this back onto Nicole. And Nicole, they're actually both, now I do want to tell you this, first of all. Before I turn it back to you, let me do this. The summit is coming up, as we've alluded to, Monday, March 23rd, Tuesday the 24th, and Wednesday the 25th. We are going to be going from 2 o'clock until 2:30 Pacific time. And both of these fine people will be on the broadcast on Monday. Now, if I know you haven't gotten an agenda, I know you haven't seen the topics, and I know you don't have any links to this. And the reason why is because they haven't yet been created. This is literally coming together in a week. And I want to thank, not just these two people, everybody who's been involved with this project for being so expeditious and getting me all the information I need to get it out to you. And thank you, everyone who tuned in today to help us, give us a chance on this dry run on this tech, because this is actually some different tech than I normally use for my lives. So we really appreciate your support. But you don't know any of that stuff because it hasn't been sent out, because frankly, it's not done yet. That's how fast it's coming at us. So if you want to know, in the show notes, there is a link to the summit registration. Put your name into that link. I will send you that information as soon as it's done. I anticipated going out sometime on Saturday, and that will be the links as well as the entire summit schedule. That will go out on Saturday. So please make sure that you go ahead and do that. Did I miss anything about the summit that everybody should know before I turn it back over to you to give them a little sneak peek at what's coming their way?
I wanted to ask, I believe is it from noon to 2:30?
Yes. Didn't I say noon?
You
Okay.
said 2 to something, I don't know what. So noon, okay. Noon to 2:30 Pacific, correct?
Noon to 2:30 Pacific, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Great.
Thank you. Thank
Sure.
you. I appreciate that. Okay. All right, so we got a couple things going. I have been active in the chat. If you do have a question, we're going to hang around and answer your questions. I'm asking that you put the word question in front of it, so please do that so that I can easily spot them out. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn this over to Nicole first. Again, ladies first. Sorry about that, Drew. I'm going to turn this over to Nicole, and she's going to give us a little sneak peek of what is coming your way from her on Monday.
All right, so yeah, I'm really excited about my presentation. I believe I'm kicking off the summit with CJ on Monday, and I'm the first presenter. So that's going to be fun. Hopefully we'll get all the kinks ironed out for everyone for the entire length of the summit, but very happy that this is going so well so far on the tech. So congratulations, CJ. Yeah, so a little bit of sneak peek about my segment. The title is The Modern Third Shot, Drops, Drives, and Beyond. So basically what I'm going to be covering is exactly what the title sounds like. CJ informed me that on YouTube, apparently Primetime kind of dominates the keyword third shot, which I kind of knew, but I wasn't like, I had kind of forgotten. So I went to look it up, and we do in fact have probably like 4 of the first 5 positions, because we do put out a lot of videos on the third shot, obviously because it's a very pivotal shot in the game of pickleball. And it's evolved considerably, even just in the last, and it continues to, just in such a short time, back when I started, which was not that long ago, 2017. So about 2.5 years ago, this was mid. Yeah, like I got all the cliches, like always do this, always do that, always this, that, like always drop the third was like one of the things, right? So, and I was, but having come from a pretty strong racket playing background in another sport, I knew intuitively that like there's never an always for anything. It's always situational, and you're not gonna. The third shot it's a pretty advanced shot. I mean, because it requires you taking a ton of speed off the ball, and if you're in a compromised position in one way or the other, like you're on the run or the shot's kind of jamming you, or you're like falling back, that may or may not be the best thing to do. So I'm really going to cover kind of the evolution of the third shot and different situations about it, and what you're gonna want to do in each of those situations. And then the last, so it'll probably be about 20 minutes of that, and then we're open to any questions for the last 10 minutes of that. So that's what I'm covering in a nutshell. Was that sneak peek enough for you?
I think that's sneak peek enough. That is, thank you. That's a really, I told him when we were talking about this before we came live, I said, I was thinking Wizard of Oz. I didn't say that, but like, look behind the curtain. So, and Nicole did say she is joining us. She's actually kicking off the summit. She will be here at noon on Monday. I tell you what, before we go into your presentation, Drew, how about, I've got some questions coming in, and I know I'm going to lose some of these because the chat's getting pretty big with a lot of people saying hello. I know we have people from the Villages. I see several. Algoma, Wisconsin. Patty, I know where that is because I am from Ironwood, Michigan, and I lived in Milwaukee for a very, very long time. We have people from all over the country coming in, and I don't want to lose a couple of these questions. So I am going to, I'm just going back in the questions. And so here's a question that comes from, I am going to say your name wrong, and I apologize because I know that you have emailed me before. Beno, I'm sorry if I said that wrong, but Beno, he said he wants to know, and either one of the two of you can take this question. How do we find the sweet spot on the paddle?
I'm gonna let the pickleball librarian take that one since he's the paddle expert. I'll take the next technique or strategy question.
You like that volley? That was like a punch volley, baby.
Boom, 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 boom.
Okay.
Right in the hip, right in the chest.
Of course, I don't have a paddle to show this. I have books and hats, everything. So, but okay, basically, a lot of times the sweet spot is the best spot on the paddle to hit the ball. I mean, it's usually dead center. Some paddles, they tend to be in the center, but maybe a little up towards the end. And one way to find it is just to take a ball and hit on the paddle up and down. And you'll know the sweet spot because it has a sweet sound. It sounds better. It sounds more of a solid hit. It feels better. And you'll see the ball go a lot higher. And as you deviate off the sweet spot, the hit's not as good. I mean, it's just not quite what it used to be. And one thing I want to tell you, a lot of the modern paddles, the paddles that are coming out now, I mean, their sweet spot's better. You'll see there's wider sweet spots, and it's just an amazing thing. I hope that answers your question. You can do it by feel, you can do it visually, and you could also listen to it, and you'll just see the sweet spot. And it's a general area in your paddle where it's the best spot to hit the ball.
Perfect. Hey, as long as we got you talking about paddle questions, we're going to tap you one more time, Drew, because another question came in, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who asked it. Oh, here it is. It's John L. He wants to know what the lifespan of a paddle would be.
Whew, that's a very good question. It depends on how often you play, how hard you hit, a lot of factors, and how you treat the paddle. First of all, I want to say, I take my paddle inside whenever I go inside. I don't leave it in the car overnight. I don't leave it exposed to cold weather or extremely hot weather. I mean, sometimes my son looks at me when we're going out to lunch and I take it inside the restaurant with me. But so, maybe that's a little extreme, but my point is take care of your paddles. I mean, and I'll clean them from time to time. That's the first thing. The other thing too is just, it depends on you. Myself, I say a paddle would last me about 6 months to a year. I think a pro that hits hard, they might go through it. They'll go through it even sooner. I mean, Jack Monroe, one of the young pros who hits with both hands, he tells me that as soon as the grip wears out for him, he notices the paddle's just not where he wants it to be.
Awesome. Okay.
It's just hard, but I see people playing with like a pro like impacts that are years old and they're still playing at a decent level with it. So
awesome. And thank you so much, Drew. And hopefully those answered your questions. If they didn't, please put it down in the question. Stan also mentioned that Players Pickleball has a great video of sweet spots on the paddles. So that's just another resource for you. And I'm going to say, Benno, I'm so sorry. You are going to have to send me an email and tell me how to say your name phonetically. I will get it right. But he says, thank you. So that must mean that we got his question answered. So I tell you what, if you have some more questions, go ahead, please put them in the chat with the word question in front of it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn this over to Drew, and I'm going to let him give you that little sneak peek of what he's got coming your way on. I know he's on Monday. I don't remember the time, so perhaps you can tell everybody the time you're on as well, Drew.
Oh boy.
Well, that's okay. You can sign up and get the agenda. Then you'll know what time he's on, and we won't mess any of it up.
I'm watching everyone else's show too, so this is something you don't want to miss, and it's free. Excellent. So basically, when on all testing on Pickleball Librarian page, we're aimed at the consumer, but we feature lots of people. I mean, we feature pros, we feature sponsored players, up and coming players, and even rec players. I mean, our point is you get a different perspective. Because myself, I mean, the top player in the world, what works for him probably won't work for me. But a very good player, yeah. And we try to just have that variety. What we do with our products is all of us as a team, we play on different courts. We counted them on a weekly basis. We're on at least 12 different courts, and we share their equipment. We take it to different places. I mean, I have a huge backpack and I share the paddles that we test. Folks get to try them out. I regularly play with high level players, but also we play with rec players too. We'd like to get everyone's opinion on what they think. I like to say that, we really focus on the consumer, and one of our team members happens to be a graduate of the Fit Institute of Technology. And she's worked as a marketing manager for a shoe company. She's worked for Wrangler Jeans, but she can definitely explain the making of a pair or a shoe better than any player can. So my point is we don't limit ourselves to a pro player's perspective. It's just one of many. So we're going to show you essential gear for the court. I mean, we're not going to go into paddles this time, but we're going to show you what's nice to have. And one clue of something that's useful, and I was changing it, you need a hat. You need something to protect your eyes, you know, protect your face, and maybe keep the sweat out. So a hat is obviously one of the essential gears you need for the court.
Awesome. That is fantastic. So hopefully now, you know, just a little bit more about some of the things that are coming your way. And I have to tell you, if you have not seen Drew's page, which is, and he does have a YouTube presence, but he's got some great stuff over on Facebook as well. And you'll have links to all of this in the summit agenda. So make sure that you click that link and get yourself registered. As Drew mentioned, it's free. But he's got some fantastic things on his page. And I'd have to say, at first, when I approached him about taking part, my thought was having him do a paddle review. But when I looked at his page, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much gear in here that I didn't know I needed. And so kind of he's going to be talking about some of those things, is the stuff that you don't know that you didn't need yet. He's got that coming up for you. So that's just a little sneak peek for you. So let's go ahead and we're going to answer a couple more questions. So, and I appreciate you with helping me with the tech. It's kind of funny. I'm trying to position everything. And so hopefully I can kind of read some of this stuff. Hopefully I don't slaughter it too badly. But this is from Gearbox 170, paddle, holy moly, paddle tech element. So question is, can a rubber Python rubber racquetball grip fit over a paddle? I use a glove and I used to play racquetball with a rubber grip. If neither of you know the answer to that question, I will field that one because I kind of have an idea.
Go ahead. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Well, here's my idea. Show up on Monday. Laura Fenton-Cavanda is going to be, she's part of the Pickleball Summit, and she is speaking on Monday. And if you are a racquetball player, you probably recognize her name because she holds titles in racquetball at a national level in Pan American Games, as well as she was in the Olympics with racquetball. So I bet you, and she is a Gearbox sponsored player, and I will bet you she can answer that question for you. So there's a little plug, right? And a little plug for Laura. Let's see. Another question we have is, somebody wants to know where your head hat is at, Drew.
I guess Head better send me one. I'll definitely wear it.
There we go. There we go. Let's see. Are the new producers of pickleballs, and who are the new producers of pickleballs, and are the balls any good? Now I'm going to tell you, I'm going to jump in here. The ball that I play with the most often, I have Duras, but I have to tell you, when I teach, I use Franklin's. That's my personal preference. I am not a Franklin sponsored player. So my personal preference, I feel that they wear a little bit better in the weather that I have here. I am in Incline Village up in Lake Tahoe, and we can have some pretty cool weather. So that's the ball that I use. That's just telling you what I use, not an endorsement, certainly not a paid endorsement. How about the two of you? Any answers to that question?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I mean, like I said, I haven't been able to play, but now my injury is getting substantially better, so I hope to get back on the court soon. But I do know that the people in my group, and Jordan in particular, he plays lately with the Dura. He was playing with a top ball because he likes to buy a whole basket, and they were a little bit cheaper, but he moved away from those because I think they were breaking a little fast. So last I saw, his basket was full of Dura Fast 40s. A lot of people, we do also play with Franklin's quite a bit. So yeah, it's kind of the Franklin Dura. It's a bit interchangeable for me. Like, I'm not super picky. I mean, so like I will play with what's there, but not like an indoor ball. I mean, Duras and Franklin's, I'm pretty happy with either of those two.
Drew, have you got any opinions on, and I probably opened up a can of worms there, right? When you start talking pickleballs, ooh, don't shoot me. And we have no ball topic coming up.
There's a lot of equipment questions.
Yeah.
I won't go into deep detail, but yeah, I have tried some of the newer balls, and they do work. I mean, a lot of them are pretty good, but I do have my preferences too. I mean, I would say for outdoor, I prefer the Dura a little more. The Franklin's a very close second. If the weather's kind of cold, if it's under 50, I'm going to be playing with a Franklin. But when a hot day, high humidity day, the Dura seems to do better. Indoor, I actually prefer the Onyx Fuse. But if it's a rubberized floor, that fuse really catches a spin, and when it lands on the rubberized floor, it's going to just spin even more. And in that case, I would go with the Gamma Photon. So those are my 4 favorite ball choices.
Cool. I'll have to try that. I have not played the Gamma Photon. Let's see. Yes, we do have lots of paddle questions. Gear questions. Here's one more. What do you use to clean your pickleball paddle?
Great question. We just put a video out a couple days ago on paddle cleanse. It's non-toxic stuff, so it's not going to get rid of the coronavirus. But when I keep my paddle cleaner in my bag with me, and in my bag sometimes I have snacks, I have an apple, I have a banana. I don't want anything toxic to pour into that in case it spills. So I really prefer the non-toxic. And on the video, I really show how it really cleans very well. It does a great job.
Awesome. Nicole, any other suggestions, or is that a good one for you too?
That sounds good to me. I don't know that I've ever cleaned my paddle without just like a little water or something. Like Drew's definitely the paddle and all the equipment. He's the guy on the call today.
I was thinking about that too.
As long as my grip is not slippery, I'll regrip quite a bit. I mean, I'm a bit of a stickler about my grip. And the paddle, I pick a paddle and I more or less stick with it. Actually, I do really like the Engage. Oh my gosh, is it the 6.0? Drew, remind me, what's that? The Engage?
The thicker core?
Yes. What's the full name of that paddle?
The Engage Encore 6.0.
Engage Encore. Okay, I wasn't sure. Yeah, Engage Encore 6.0. Yeah, I really, really like that paddle. Jordan did get it, and he's like, you need to try this, and it was really nice. So when I'm back, I'm probably going to be playing with that paddle. Yeah. As far as cleaning it, again, I'm going to probably just stick with some water, or if I get something that's real sticky on there, I'm going to call Drew and see what he's got for him.
Exactly. I was going to say, I'm going to watch Drew's video now that I know about it, because for me, I'm just like Nicole. I'm a grip person. I am really picky about that grip.
Yeah.
And I'm probably still the worst grip changer in the whole wide world. They look awful, but they work effectively.
Oh, I can help you with that. I'm pretty fast. I've been changing grips like my whole life, so I'm like lightning.
Hey, even when I was a golf pro, if there were a few things in life I hated more than changing grips on golf clubs.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. We got another question that came in. And by the way, hi, Dick Barton. Dick is joining us from Chicago. He is, Dick and I had the chance to connect actually back several years ago, I think, when he was just kind of starting that pickleball club there. And he does a lot of great charity work back in Chicago. So Dick, glad to have you here. Let's see. I know we had another question here. Oh, here we go. Where can one find information on wide width pickleball shoes? The reviews I find don't seem to cover this. You know what? If you don't mind, I may grab this one and then turn that over to you as well, Drew, in case you have anything additional to add to it. Okay, I don't know what day of the week it is. I think it's Wednesday, but you're just going to have to get that agenda. We have Kevin Hunkel from Tyrol Pickleball will be joining us. And the reason that I asked Kevin to join us, he is the CEO of Tyrol Pickleball is making a pickleball shoe. And the reason I asked Kevin to join us is to tell us about the difference between pickleball shoes and court shoes. And I do know he and I have talked about width, because I have some pretty wide paws myself. And so I think he would be a great resource to answer that question. I can also tell you that I have a video on this channel, and I'll put a link down below, Patty. that has a shoe resource guide to some different places online where you can find wide width pickleball shoes. Drew, Drew or Nicole, have you got anything to add to that?
Perfect.
I'm a narrow footer, so I'm gonna have to get more up, build up my game on my gear here. I see this is a very important topic is here. I've been sticking to the instruction.
Drew, have you got something to add on the wide width pickleball shoes?
Not much, but you know, I used to work in retail, and from my experience, New Balance athletic shoes, they have all kinds of widths, and they do make a court shoe, so that might be a possibility. I would check those out along with your resource guide.
Yep, he is exactly right. New Balance has it, as well as ASICS has a wide width shoes, but I would invite you back to hear what Kevin from Tyrol Pickleball has to say about the difference between pickleball shoes and kind of some of the research that they did. That was pretty darn interesting. All right, I think we are kind of getting to the end of our questions here. So if you've got a question, you've got just a couple more minutes to get it up in the chat. I'm going to do like a really super duper quick recap and just tell you again, the summit, sign up in the show notes. You're going to find a link to the summit registration, put the information in there, and you will get everything you needed to delivered right to your inbox. I am going to have that out on Saturday, and you're going to get a full presentation from Nicole. Again, she's going to talk about the modern third shot, which are drops, drives, and kind of maybe everything in between, that type of combination. And Drew's going to be talking about those products you just didn't yet know you needed, but are just going to have to I love the hat change. The things that you're going to have in your pickleball arsenal. Just one reminder, we have tomorrow, I am live at 10 a.m. on Facebook. It's the facebook.com Better Pickleball page. It has a completely different show. We'll be live again here tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. And excuse me, 2 p.m. And I will have, tomorrow is Saturday. So Barrett Kenchlow from Pickleball Kitchen is joining us. So make sure you get that. I did have two quick questions come in. When will the person be talking about the goggles? That is Raphael Filippini. He is the owner of Gearbox Sports, and Gearbox comes from the racquetball industry, and one of the things they're known for is their protective eyewear. He will be here on Wednesday. And let's see, one other question, we're going to end on this. Where is Shirley now? I think we bored Shirley with all of our talk on pickleball. She is on top of her cat tree taking a snooze. So I wanted to thank both Nicole Havlicek and Drew Evans. Thank you so much for showing up today and for helping to put this all together. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, CJ. It's been so fun to be here. It's a pleasure.
Well, and if you follow me on Pickleball, you know I end every video by saying, hey, we'll be back here tomorrow because together we can train smart, live bold, and age well. You have a wonderful day, everybody.